Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and all others. Stephen here, or Boudreaux if you prefer. Did it backwards again. No. Anyway, I just finished attempting to do there and balk again and failed. So anyway, it only took I don't know 45 minutes. So anyway, I'm going to try it again. And the tough part of getting through there is getting through the high moors and the troll shaws, and that's what got me. A sneaking lynx got me. And often that's the case when you go through the high moors. I still stick by my particular method of getting through the high moors. It will not get you through 100%, but better than 50? Absolutely. I'm thinking it's more along the lines of kind of like 80, but I just got unlucky on that particular attempt, so we're going to try it again. Anyway, just to kind of let you know, I'll pull up Jay here. Okay, hold on. As soon as I'm in the right window, I'll pull up Jay. And I'll make sure I got my volumes up. Okay. Anyway, if I go to the virtue traits, basically I got a message last time that I had maxed out my last particular thing. So I went to fidelity, which is tech and physical mit. So the next points that I get will go into there, even though I'm still level 6 and can't actually equip any of these yet. I'm going to have something that I do want to equip later, hopefully maxed out. By the time that I'm able to equip it. Okay, so anyway, the quest has already been started because I just failed it. So all I have to do is talk to George, and we will go into session play and become a chicken. So basically, we're going to end up getting the title Wing Under the Mountain, and to do this, we have to sit in the seat that the king under the mountain sits in, and that the mountain they're talking about would, of course, be the Lonely Mountain. So even though our first objective, as we look over here, is to travel to the Carrick, and we'll see that a little, actually see it better because I'll make it larger. But anyway, if you type /UI from either control / you go ahead and set all these things where you want them and to the size you want them, and also a lot of your options will get saved if you type /UI. Save, this shows you the syntax, and you give it a file name. So I've already done that. So then when you're ready to load it up, you can type in /UI layout load, and I was on the Arkenstone server when I did it, so I named the file Arkenstone, and boom, everything's bigger. Okay, it's pretty much in the same place. I just I'm old, so I like bigger text. So you can see bigger here. It says travel to the Carrick, but that's only our first objective. There's actually 3 or 4 or maybe 5 different places we have to visit on the way to the Lonely Mountain to sit on the throne so that we can call ourselves the Wing Under the Mountain. Play on words, which I actually didn't get the first time I did that quest. Why do they call it Wing Under the Mountain? Well, yeah, I'm sitting on this frickin' throne. Why do I think they call it? Anyway, a lot of people like to fire off their combat commands from here or by using the numbers above the letters. I do it a little differently. I like to fire them off from this particular row, but I don't generally use the mouse pointer to do it. I use the numeric keypad instead. So I'm a little bit weird, but hey, that's me. Anyway, we have four skills that are given to us in this particular quest. And by the way, it would make this quest a lot easier if the strange chicken nest actually worked, and I checked. They don't. Okay. So anyway, we do have to go through the high moor since they don't. But anyway, file fleetness, plus 50% run speed for 30 seconds with a 2-minute cooldown. And the next skill also is for 30 seconds with a 2-minute cooldown. Bob and weave. Plus 50% evade chance and an additional 25% evade chance against ranged attacks. You want to use that in dangerous areas or when you find somebody's locked into aggro on you. Possum impersonation, as it was meant to be used. You can play dead for up to a minute. If you attempt to move, you will no longer be playing dead. And when you stop playing dead, if the mob that had locked onto aggro to you is still in your range, you're up the creek without a paddle. But anyway, 2 minute cooldown as well on that, as well as this skill as well, which also works for a minute. Paranoia, we will actually be using it to great effect, hopefully, in the high moors. And basically, it allows you to detect sneaking mobs. It works best if you're standing still or moving extremely slowly. And once you detect them, hopefully you can move in a direction that they are not, to avoid having them lock aggro onto you. But anyway, the third skill, Possum Impersonation, also has an unintended effect. I can't talk right now. Anyway, I'm going to pull up my options and set up a UI setting. So skill queue, show skill queue. So if you don't normally have that set, please do. And if you don't normally have, put it in a place where you can see it easy. I like to have it over my head. So I went Control / to actually do that. So anyway, let me show you the what I believe is the unintended use of this particular thing. We've got a wolf up there. I'm gonna on purpose drag aggro, and I'm going to show you the hourglass that shows up when the skill queue shows up. And what I was doing there was I was spamming Possum Impersonation, and as long as it isn't under cooldown, it actually won't fire as you spam it, because it will only work if you're standing still and use it, at least as it was intended. So it won't even fire it unless you're standing still, which allows you to keep spamming it and anybody who's following you hopefully lose aggro on you and head back to their position. In that case, I don't believe that wolf even got a hit on us. So you can actually get it in quick enough to keep somebody from hitting you. Now, Foul Fleetness, you can use it to quicken up the quest, but you can also save them when you're in extremely dangerous areas to attempt to get away from monsters. And when I do get to the high moor, you'll kind of see how I use all 4 of these skills in combination to try and get through the high moors as safely as possible. And the way I do it, I believe, does give me an extremely good chance of getting through, probably about 80% or so. I was unlucky last time, but I'm hoping I'll get through this time. Anyway, that's kind of where we're going. Now, some of you may notice, and I'm for a lot of you guys, I'm kind of repeating this if you watch all my videos, but I'm expecting a lot of people to watch this and no other of my videos, so I need to explain some things. You notice that my camera works a little bit differently than most people's, and that's because I have a particular option set under input. Camera aligns to slopes. I love that. And I've used it pretty much since I've started playing LOTRO, and it keeps me from doing this because I'm not a guy. I notice a lot of guys on Let's Plays are doing this with their camera and doing that, and moving themselves using the you notice I'm using the keyboard, and it may bug the hell out of some of y'all, but I'm not a big camera movement guy. I just like seeing myself from behind most of the time. So a lot of y'all me saying, you like seeing chicken butt? I guess you can get closer to actually, I don't know. Well, anyway, yeah, just in case you're into that kind of thing. But whatever. Yeah, no, I went there. Anyway, hopefully I'll remember to keep firing off Foul Fleetness so that when we're going through the safer areas like the Shire, and even in some of the more dangerous areas, if there's not mobs coming up close to the road, yeah, use it. And even let's say like Nanedith and the Lowlands, they do come kind of close up to the road, but they're not really that dense, and I can really kind of pick my way through them. Never died there. I believe I've maybe dragged aggro a time or two, but as long as you're able to spam Possum Impersonation fast enough, you should be able to survive. At least against mobs that you can see, because generally you're just going to hit the very edge of their hitbox. And I think that's one of the reasons why The way I go through the moors is so successful is because I'm really only moving when I'm booking it. And you pretty much have to go right through or very near the center of the hitbox of the sneaking mobs in order for them to really kind of get a real good hit on you. Otherwise, the minute you see them, you can generally be successful by spamming possum impersonation if you're right on the edge of their hitbox, and be able to get rid of them. I guess I was just kind of unlucky in that I went right into the center of the box, their hitbox. So I think that right there is kind of where I can say, I've got an 80% chance of getting through. There's probably even a whole bunch of lynxes that I've drawn aggro from that I've never even noticed that I've drawn aggro on, because I'm just occasionally hitting possum impersonation. I may lose them before they even before my hourglass even pops up, but anyway, kind of sucks that I didn't make it through last time, but I had the time to maybe try it again, and maybe one more time, maybe, I don't know, we'll have to see. But hopefully this isn't my unlucky quest, because I've been asserting all along that of the three final ones, that this is the easiest one. And yes, it's the shortest, but that doesn't always necessarily mean easiest. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, I mean, I still stick to that because, quite frankly, I don't know, the mounted mobs in Gondor. Yeah, I've had problems with them. I've suffered a lot of deaths to those mounted mobs, and even if you look at 2 videos ago when I actually in one try I actually got that quest. Is it not free range, but great wide open. I did it on my first try, but yeah, in the fields of Pelennor, there was a couple of ranged mobs that gave me a scare. In particular, the first one, pretty near when I just got on the field. Not the guy that's waiting for you, but one just a little past him. Started getting on the road, and I had to actually use possum impersonation as it was intended to be used. Yeah, I was scared. And of course, you're so far into the quest there. Crazy. I was 2.5 hours into a 2-hour and 45-minute quest, so that's the thing. That's the quest where the main danger you're going to face is going to be latest in the quest, because going through Lebanon and the Pelennor fields, I think that those are the two most dangerous areas in going through a great wide open. But anyway, got the potato chips I'm going to eat. Hopefully they don't bother you too much. Actually, no drop frames this video, so yeah, I looked at it last video. It wasn't much. I mean, it was maybe a second, 2 seconds. I don't know. It wasn't much. So 337 drop frames. I guess that means that was elite. Was it 337? Something like that. Okay, well. Looks like we'll be going through the troll shaws at night. Which means trolls on the road. And there's even a lot of chicken players out there that believe that it just makes things more difficult on you if you're going through the troll shaws at night because of those trolls. in reality, not true. And I said this last video for anybody who may be watching all the videos, but the fail video, I actually mentioned this too. Yeah, they're just threateners. Just keep walking. You can walk right by them. I mean, right in the middle of their hitbox, and as long as you don't stop, they don't even growl at you. Unlike these bears and boars and whatever, that we probably have a couple of them growl at us as we're going near the yellow tree. Potato chip hit the floor. I think we missed the 5-second rule, so I'm going to throw it away. Even if we didn't, that would be the smart choice. 5-second rule really isn't a good rule. Duh. Yeah, I love the feel and the look of nighttime in this game. I think they do it really well. So anyway, maybe we should talk route a little bit. And again, I feel like I'm repeating myself because I kind of am. But yes, you're going to say, well, why are we going to the High Moors? Well, it's because we need to get to the Misty Mountains. Because it's from the Misty Mountains that we're going to end up going to the Vales of Anduin, where the Carrack is. And I believe also our second objective is, and I think we need to go into, the area of Dale and the Lonely Mountain and all that. I forget exactly what it's called, but for our third objective, and maybe our fourth before heading to the Lonely Mountain, or is the Lonely Mountain the fourth? I don't know. I don't remember. I got one of those bad short-term memories. Sorry. And yes, that was a joke. I didn't even mention this last video. Yeah, yesterday I did something on LOTRO-like. I actually watched a football game. Well, of course, my LSU Tigers were involved, and they were playing Alabama. It was kind of, a little bit of a deal, Number 2 and number 3 in the nation. And yes, LSU won. Joe Burrow is awesome. So I'm pumped right now. I'm giving Alabama fans some crap. So, anyway, we were number 2 before the game. There's no way we can't be number 1 now. Yeah, we'll jump Ohio State for having beat the number 3 team in the nation. No doubt about that. But yeah, well, player and his bear. So it's not a player who is a bear, because we do have those. There's a player and his bear. So anyway, what I was talking about, these guys are threateners. So, I don't mind taking the shortcut to get to the yellow tree. And they'll be pretty thick when we get up pretty close to the tree. Like right here. Though I think I'm kind of splitting them pretty good. Unintentionally. Like I said, they're threateners, so I don't really care if we draw their ire or not, because we'll be by them by the time they even think to attack us. So, ugh. Every once in a while I use my mouse, but you know, it's rare. I have a habit of actually, as I'm clicking things, my horizon will just end up slowly going down. So every once in a while I just have to kind of bring it up. Yeah, I think they could have easily just given you 4 hours to do the quest, but you know, since the other two big ones they gave 8, they decided to go with 8 for this as well. Usually, even though I take a little bit longer than probably a lot of people, just because I take a more careful route on free range. Yeah, my free range is about 4.5 hours. Like I said, you know, some people it's probably 4. But yeah, so my free range is probably a little bit longer than most people's. But 4.5 hours for mine, and let's see, about 2 hours and 45 minutes for my Great Wide Open, and maybe hour 45, hour 50 minutes, something like that for this, and the one time that I did do it. So we'll see how it stacks up to that one time, because I seem to remember about an hour 50 or so. I think it was just shy of an hour 50, or it might have been just a tad over. I'm not sure. Somewhere in that range. It was definitely under 2 hours though. So, you know, if I take over 2 hours, if I'm successful, that'll really kind of surprise me, because I think I'm actually even doing a better job of remembering to use the speed boost this time compared to my last video, which I failed on. But anyway, Lowlands. There's the Forsaken Inn. It should be condemned by the looks of it. And anyway, things are going to be kind of easy until we get to Nain Edith, and then I'll just kind of start paying attention a little more and point out, you know, where the mobs are getting close to the road and everything. Until then, I'm going to be eating potato chips. Checking out how much lag I have. Maybe 30, 45 seconds. Okay, this pass up ahead, once we get past it, or in the middle of it, or something like that, we'll end up in Nate Edith, and it'll still be a few hundred yards before we really kind of have to sweat the mobs coming up to the road. But just kind of pay attention here. Nothing to kind of keep you from using your speed boost, because you should be able to dodge them. They're well spread apart. But just kind of keep an eye, because if you're just kind of steering by peripheral vision, as I have the ability to do, you may miss the yellow dot that's up on the road that may get up and come up and bite you. And these guys will even cross the road. In fact, the last video where I failed, you can see one actually doing it right in front of me. So I just kind of went in the direction he wasn't going, and generally you don't want to kind of follow him through, but here you go, that bird right on our right, it's almost in the road, and if you take the road, chances are you're going to grab his aggro. So anyway, next speed boost goes off, and get the next one queued up. Usually a little bit ahead of here. There's another couple of mobs you need to kind of worry about and maybe pass between. Where are you? Okay, kind of here, I guess. Yeah, it's not bad at all. Usually there's a little more of a squeeze. I guess one of the mobs isn't running there, or maybe is it here? Yeah. Okay, this is kind of what I was thinking of. Yeah, you still got a wide berth between these two guys, but one's near the road, one's a little further away. And a little later on there may be something. Usually there isn't. I think we're pretty much by the hard part, and pretty much we won't have anything to worry about until we get to the Fort of Bruinen. Because getting to the high moors is a little bit tricky. Never actually died getting to the high moors. Once there, yeah, that's happened. Yes, that's the most dangerous part of this journey. Even though we are going into higher level territories from there on out, yeah, we won't have to deal with any sneaking mobs. We'll know where all our enemies are and be able to pick our paths, and it shouldn't be a problem picking our paths. And as long as we pay attention, if we make it past the high moors, there's no reason we shouldn't be able to be successfully on the quest. And again, there's that if we get by the high moors. So we weren't able to in the last video. Hopefully it works on this one. I like my success rate, and 2 in a row would be rare for me, the way that I'm doing things now, and the things that I've got figured out. So 2 failures in a row would be really tough. So if I were to put money on myself, am I going to actually complete this quest successfully? I'd have to say yes, I would. I wouldn't put everything I've got on it, but I'd throw a few $100s at it, Of course, I would have thrown through a few $100s on the last video too, but and that's why I don't gamble anymore. course, since sports betting is legal throughout the country, it has been for what, a little over a year now. I'm surprised I actually haven't kind of fallen into that, because a lot of my fellow dealers, I deal at a casino. A lot of my fellow dealers are getting into that sports book. I'm hearing the same thing I'm hearing from the customers. I had that 8-team parlay, and my first 7 teams had won, and my 8th one, of course, there's always a fail story on that 8th one. It's the same story. And I don't know, if I were a sports bettor, I don't know if I'd do parlays. Just everybody loves those big payoffs, and it's like, yeah, I spent $10 and I won $20,000. Of course, your chances of winning that $20,000 are, yeah, pretty small. But I guess, out of every 10 tickets they play, they may get one that gets kind of close, and so as long as they keep getting those, and I was this close. You're always this close, dude. And every once in a while they pop it through, I guess. Without winners, there are no losers, right? Okay, troll shows. So, it'd probably take a little more than the 35 minutes that I believe it takes to get to. I think it's, some of it's because I actually spend a little time, explaining the skills and all that before I go. So it'd probably be fair to say it's going to take 40 minutes for us to get to the Fort of Ruin rather than 35. Because if I just boom, took off right when, just right as soon as I became a chicken, I could just say, yeah, it takes 35 minutes, but, the time I spent kind of stopping and explaining, and yeah, I should probably tell you guys 40. I'm kind of thinking if I fail this time, let me just quit, and about tomorrow this time I'll try it again. If I can, I want to maybe wake up and watch the Saints-Falcons game. My Saints are doing well too, almost undefeated. Only one loss, and LSU's undefeated and gonna be number 1 in the country. And hopefully they can win the national championship this year, and Burrow can get his Heisman Trophy, because he's looking really good. I mean, I just can't believe this is an LSU offense. I mean, to be able to put up 40 plus points against Alabama, and our defense is our weak point now. Really? LSU's defense is their weak. Our offense is propping up our defense? Really? Oh my God. Yeah. And, Tua may not have been 100%, but I don't know. He just didn't look as sharp as Joe, And, he's apparently in the Heisman race too, but he came in second last year. I don't think he'll fare any higher this year. I really think it's Joe's to lose. I mean, that this was going to be Joe. The game where Joe either lost or won the Heisman, I think, and I think he won it. I think he's maybe a tad under 80%, but still, he's still holding up a good 75% clip on his completion ratio. I mean, just he's a coach's son. He just not only does he have the ability to make decisions on the fly and be a good game manager. Quarterbacks hate that title, and I understand why. But he actually is a great game manager on top of being a top-tier thrower who can make all the throws. To me, I think he's the kind of guy that can maybe step into the NFL and eventually become like some of the legends of today. Like a Breeze or a Tom Brady or something. It'll be interesting to see what he does in the NFL, because it looks like he's going first round, and a team is going to pin his hopes on him. So some team that needs a quarterback is going to say, oh, "You are a guy." I think he'll be more than up to the challenge. I mean, he puts a lot of hard work in, and he's a lot of people might say he's cocky, but I think confidence is a good word for it. And tough. I love when the announcers of the LSU game just said, so have you learned how to slide yet? And just didn't even look up. He said, "I don't slide." I actually kind of love that. I mean, you want a quarterback to take care of themselves, but the fact that he just says, "I don't slide," to him, that sends a message to his team. That's showing leadership, And it's like, I'm willing to throw myself on the line. You guys better be too. Saying it to him without saying it to him, And in a way, from what I hear, these receivers have actually put some extra time in that perhaps a lot of receivers wouldn't be willing to, and that to learn a little more complicated offense, and spend a little more time getting the routes exactly the way they would that normally wouldn't happen. So apparently these receivers are buying into the system. And Joe Brady, I think that's who you have to thank. Ex-passing coordinator of the Saints, and he just turned 30. Wow. Yeah, he's got a bright future in front of him. Bright future indeed. Okay, so now for the Brunnen. Actually, over here is where, anyway, you got a short little switchback, and then another shorter switchback into the long switchback, and then after that a short one to the little camp there, and then you got a rock to kind of look for, and you'll see what I'm saying. It's better to show you visually than to talk about it, but here's it's a short switchback to a shorter one. Generally not too many red dots to I've got my finger on the well, that guy's kind of heading our way. Oh, kind of closer than I thought. Okay, well, okay. And how close is this guy? He's kind of moving in. I don't want to take one inboard or outboard. Sorry, Navy guy. I'll take him outboard just to be safe. We've got a lot of room out here. Okay, so here, it's a little sketchy trying to get up onto the second. Well, sometimes it's a little sketchy trying to get up onto the second switchback, or I guess third by now. And, you want to. Sometimes these guys move, and you have to wait for them. Yeah, taking these guys on the outboard, sometimes they'll move to the outboard, and you need to take them inboard. See, that guy's right up against the mountain, so that I have no choice to take him there. Okay, so here's our long switchback. Yeah, so anyway, I'm saving my speed boost, so that's why we're not using it right now. Of course, I probably forgot to use it earlier, but yeah, I've got my finger on possum impersonation. So if we get in trouble and I see that hourglass show up, okay, so we'll go over here, and here's the final switchback, or the next I don't know if you would call the next turn if it was switchback too, but okay. All right, so we're pretty good until we get to that rock, as long as we don't take too far of an easterly track. But anyway, this camp is always kind of a landmark for me. I was thinking of the word, trying to think of the word. Anyway, you know, kind of take a little bit of a right here, and you see that rock right in front of us. Don't head any more easterly than this. There are hidden mobs over there. So just I kind of try and head towards the left end of that rock. Sometimes there can be mobs in the way. You can head a little bit east, and I think you're okay. But anyway, let's see. Let me get a little better camera angle. Yeah, that guy, that hunter there, is kind of close to the mountain. I'm going to maybe, since he's walking, you know, let him stop, and then we'll go around. Now, finger on the 3 key. Now, here you may have a sneaking mob pop out on you. And I always seem to be nervous when there's a lack of mobs like there is now. But if we get by here, we ought to be okay for now. But yeah, we're kind of heading for this little camp here where there's a mustering horn. And I'll try and keep those mountains on my right if I can. But like I said, you just got to pick your way through the mobs. Okay, and sometimes you got to head outboard. Like, well, let's see, is that guy moving? Okay, I'll head a little bit outboard here, and I'll head for that fire. Okay, and I think you're generally safe there. Okay, but still keep an eye out. But anyway, I'm safe enough, and the mobs are close enough, far enough away. Well, I don't know. That one guy's getting me a little nervous. Okay, he's getting me real nervous now. I'm going to go 1, 2. Okay, and my finger on 3. I'm going to maybe hit it every once in a while. I'm going to go through these mobs. Basically, I'm taking going north. I'm going to take the path east, and I'm looking for like the end of the 30 seconds when the speed boost and the bob and weave end up going away. So anyway, once I get near it, about right here-ish, I'll stop and then hit 4. Okay, so the paranoia. Okay, so it's been 30 seconds, so there's another minute and 30 seconds to the first 2 skills reset. In the meantime, we've got a whole minute of paranoia. So we'll be unprotected for about 30 seconds, but we'll have paranoia for a minute. We'll hopefully, standing still, be able to detect a sneaking mob that's walking towards us before they can notice us. We'll be able to walk in the other direction, and we have plenty of rooms between that and any of the other red mobs, so we've got area to work with. Hopefully that will allow us to survive. When number 1 and 2 have finished cooling down, I will hit them again, and I'm going to go. So anyway, I have the choice of taking the east and then the north path, or the north and then the east path. I always like the north and the east seems to be the main path. I believe the concentration of these hidden links is about the same on both. And I think it's just a matter, if you hit the edge of their hit boxes, I think you're going to make it by them. But if you just happen to be unlucky and get really too close to them, you know, because you are moving fast, they'll get you. But in the meantime, like I said, occasionally I'll just fire off a possum impersonation. And if I notice that hourglass goes off, I'm going to go nuts with it. But anyway, we should be cool, only taking 1 trip here. So I'm waiting for the second. There we go. Boom, boom, go. Okay, so occasionally, going to hit that 3. Now, these guys are a little close to each other. I don't like it. So I'm going to take it wide. Okay. And let's see. Yeah, we're going to head back to the main road. Okay. And hopefully nothing's in the center of the main road. And let's see, we're getting kind of towards the end, and towards the end of the 30 seconds, not enough power. Okay, so anyway, we're there, we made it. So anyway, yeah, that was it. And like I said, about 8 out of 10 times it works for me. So we made it to the gates of Elotro. and we have a very high chance of making it through this quest now. Even though I've only completed this quest once, I'm fairly certain that that was the most dangerous area for us to go through, and since we made it through, I have really high hopes that we're going to make it all the way. Whew. Okay, so anyway, we've been at it about 45 minutes, and like I said, that's about as much as you'll waste realizing if you're going to make it through the high moors or not. And we did. So, you know, obviously, if you're not paying attention, you can fail this quest anywhere along it. You know, I mean, even right here, just falling off a cliff can kill you. And I've actually seen it happen to somebody who was recording one of their chicken plays. Poor guy. You know, he actually said, you know what? You basically seen it's just the quest to go see Rohirrim, right? He says, yeah, you guys know how to get to Rohirrim from here. Even though I just died, you know, looking at Rivendell. So anyway, I'm going to complete it off camera, and then I'll tack on to the end of this video me showing off my cloak, you know, for having completed all the area, you know, the preliminaries for the 3 big ones, you know, whatever. I keep forgetting the name of those things. Bad short term memory. Okay, so from here we'll be heading into Misty Mountains. Okay, so you know, if you've been through the Misty Mountains, then I guess you kind of know the path that you need to take to get to. I think of the name of that town. When we get into Misty Mountains, I'll open up the path and I'll kind of show you in a little more detail where we're going. I'm not even sure I opened it for you I think that was the last video I did it for. Anyway, I'll just kind of, when we first get there, before we run into any mobs whatsoever, I'll just go ahead and open up the map and show you. And I should be firing off these speed boosts. Okay. So anyway, there's a chicken stone there for those for the free range quests. I believe it's for the free range. Yeah. Alright, so there's an NPC up here, right past this town person. Anurnaneth. I love that name. Anurnaneth. I've actually created female elves and gave them that name. It just, you know, just rolls off the tongue as an elven name. Just love it. And, you know, as we head towards Arwen's perch up here, it kind of surprised me that, you know, and I guess this is kind of more in line with what Tolkien did with her, but Arwen kind of plays a very light role in the quests of Rivendell. There's only, what, a couple of quests at most, I think, that kind of involve her. You know, unlike, you know, Peter Jackson, who tried to kind of expand her role beyond what Tolkien had for her. And maybe, you know, I don't, well, you can always argue, I think successfully argue that Galadriel always had a bigger role as a female elf figure than Arwen did. You know, Arwen's mom, of course. But, where is it, Arwen's mom? I don't know. A little light on my lore. But anyway, sure somebody will correct me. But yeah, you know, I guess it isn't too surprising that this game in some ways tries to be a little closer to the lore than the movies was. And then other ways it kind of breaks it. But, you know, just the way it is. And it's going to be like that with a game like this. And for one thing, there was the big tiff over PvP. Because, you know, the PvP wouldn't have anything, you know, Tolkien wouldn't have anything to do with PvP. I mean, you know, elves fighting men, you know, just for bragging rights or what. No. That's not a Lord of the Rings kind of thing. So, you know, having, you know, a set aside PvP area just kind of makes sense. Anyway, let's stop. We'll take a look at the map. So anyway, we're going to be kind of following that little path just north of Glowin's camp and up through here and into the northern Brunnen source. And we're going to be going over here into the eastern Brunnen source and kind of following the northern edges of the mountains so that we can take that path over to, Vinderhall. I thought that was the name of it. We're kind of taking the south entrance of Vinderhall out to try and get just east of the goblin camps, where there will be a path that will lead up a mountain into the Vales of Anduin. So anyway, we're going to be passing right by the Vinderhall camp. So, you know, basically that path that you need to take to discover the Vinderhall location is the path we're going to be taking. And for the most part, it is a lightly guarded path. There is a little bit of mob dodging we're going to have to do, but it's not going to be a huge deal. So anyway, I think we missed a lot of our speed boost while I was talking, so sorry about that. Okay, so Glowin's camp to our left. We can even see one of the pillars in front of it. This trail leading north. For the most part, this trail is clear, although right now, I did say for the most part. I'm going to take the left side of it. We'll avoid that red dot. Kind of up towards the north here, there's a little circle, a black circle that shows up on the rear view mirror, as I like to call it, which has 5 bears in it. So I'm going to kind of keep that to my right as I go around it to head into the northern Brunnen source. And once we get into the northern source, those mobs can move quite fast, so you want to keep a good wide distance between you and the red dots. And here's the circle I was talking about, and rather distinctive markings that you know, you can kind of use. There's that little ring right there. I always kind of notice it, but here you're going to maybe kind of turn to the northwest, and occasionally you're going to check on your map. But like I say, keep a wide berth with these guys because they can move fast. Now, I've never died here, never even had anything lock aggro on me. But I always am kind of a little bit nervous going through here. So my finger is kind of ready to fire off possum impersonation if I need to. Okay, see how fast that guy to my right was moving? Okay, so anyway, just occasionally, boom. Yeah, so, you know, we're going to maybe start heading a little bit northeasterly. Let's go through these mobs at least a little. Yeah, I think kind of maybe this might be where we're going. Yeah, the mobs are getting a little thick here. That path may be what we're looking for. I can hear those guys taking their footsteps. Okay, alright, fell off of there. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where we need to go. Actually, we may have been a little bit north of where we needed to go, but yeah, we're heading back there. And in general, we want to kind of stay on the north side of this mountain anyway. I just kind of worried a little bit about falling off the slopes. And into the hands of maybe a waiting red dot, but yeah, say like there. So yeah, we'll just okay, a little bit close to that worm. Come on, go, 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 go! You're worrying me. Okay, you know, when I stop like that, I kind of worried. Whew. Okay. Oh, slide down. Yep. So now we're in the eastern Bruinen source. So just to kind of look. Okay. Now there is, I guess, a kind of more other distinctive markings we're looking for in the snow in the rear view mirror. I'll know them when I see them. I don't know if I can describe them for you now, but like I said, I'll know them when I see them. In general, we're following the. You can't really go much northerly than that. The map isn't really too accurate on the areas that it'll allow you to go to and where the slopes are. But yeah, she's that big old lake to the south there, and you got a whole bunch of goblins over there, and see this ward kind of heading that way, so I'll kind of head in this direction to avoid them. I'm kind of think, you know, I generally like to, as a safety measure, kind of go a little further north than I probably need to. So eventually, I'll probably be backtracking south, and I think this may be what I'm looking for. Okay. This may be the start of the path that we need, and I think there's kind of a switchback we're going to kind of look for. I hope we're on the right path. I really do. I think we are. I don't think it'll take me. Yeah, there's a few mobs we may have to dodge here. And see, there's one kind of close to me on the other side of the road. But I'm looking for a switchback here, and I see it. I see it. I see it. Okay, it's kind of very faintly shown here, but right here. There you go. Right there. That's the switchback you're looking for. So we're kind of getting close to Virendal, and we may have a few mobs to kind of dodge before we get there. But we should have nice clearance to get by them without drawing their attention. And after that, you know, there's really no narrow points to go through, at least until we get to the path leading up the mountain towards the Vales of Anduin. And I'm pretty sure there's no mobs on that. At least as I remember, there's no mobs on it. I could be wrong. So going from pretty sure to could be wrong. Yeah. Kind of waffly, huh? Huh? There's that way to stand by your ground here, Stephen. Okay, so I do see a red dot. Let's see. Guard. Let's see. Let's back up a little bit. Maybe see what our best option is, and I want to say it's on the left. Yeah. Okay. All right. Don't stop moving, please. Now with all these mobs around, oh my God! Did I lose an internet connection? Oh, okay. Well, woo! And I stopped again. Oh. Okay, Warg's kind of towards the center of the path. I think I got room to get by him. Yeah, well, that's gonna be close. That's gonna be close. Okay. Okay, did not draw his ire. Cool. So anyway, Virendal right in front of us. You know, I didn't know for the longest time that there was even a way out this way. It kind of made for, you know, really long paths to get to the Goblin town and all of that, but good place to rest. Sorry. So anyway, bring up the map, see where we're at. We're going to be kind of Goblin Town, I'm guessing, about right over here. And we're going to be kind of looking for a path up the mountain a little bit to the east of it. And, you know, since I've only really found that path maybe once or twice, I'm not quite exactly sure where it is. So I may spend a little time looking for it. And even past that, I'm not very familiar with the Vale of Anduin region or the region that the Lonely Mountain's in. So, getting a little close to that warg there, and that one. Okay, make sure I'm heading in. Yeah, I kind of want to head more northwest. I want to say maybe I went more easterly and then kind of worked my way to the north last time, but I'm pretty sure this area is devoid of sneaking mobs, so I can probably go a little more northeasterly and be okay. So about like that. And you know, if I notice, you know, good concentration of goblins or whatever, we can kind of, I guess, take them to the east. Keep them to our right, I guess. Okay. And in the meantime, you know, you can see as I'm running across the dots, I'm more prone to take them to my left than to my right. So I'm just more comfortable coming up from the south, I guess, more than from the east on this particular pass we're looking for. Now, you know, I believe that there's also something that may look like the pass that we want to take that's, you know, got a real concentration, a real heavy concentration of Tempest wargs. So anyway, I'm probably in a good position where I can maybe look at what's in front of me. I don't know. Okay, this guy's moving. I'll take him to my left. Let's pull up the map real quick. Yeah. Where I need to go. It'd be helpful if I knew where Goblin Town. Yeah, the entrance to Goblin Town was, because could it be more to the east? I'm thinking yes. I'm thinking I need to go more in an easterly direction. And this might be it to my left. That might be it to my left. Oh, no, 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 no! Oh, man. Okay. Apparently there are hidden mobs here. Wow. Okay. I'm going to have to do this tomorrow. Well, anyway. We'll wait until we end up back at Sanson's farm, and then we'll end the video. Oh, well. I'm going to take one of my high-level characters and do a scouting mission just to make sure we... I'm thinking maybe I went too far east now. I really am. I'm thinking I went too far east. Okay. Yeah, because some of those wargs are hidden, I believe, and if you go too far east. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Oh, well. I was so confident we were gonna succeed in that. Oh, well. Okay, bye. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow in the next video. Bye.